Hey folks, Pat here from DNS, and this Madison area fishing report is current as of Friday, March 28th. Well, before we get started, I do want to remind folks that game fish season is currently closed on all inland waters, so no fishing for walleye, pike, or muskie until May 3rd. Not all is lost. You can still fish for bass on inland lakes, but those fish must be immediately released until May 3rd. And of course, you can fish for panfish year round. You can keep walleye and pike on most rivers and flowages, and I'll be talking about that quite a bit later in the report. I also don't want you to forget that early inland trout season is open. Only artificial lures can be used, and you have to release all those fish until May 3rd. But it is really a great time of year to get out and explore some of the many wonderful trout streams we have in our area. Just a couple quick things to go over here. The DNR wants to remind folks that your fishing license expires on Monday, May 31st. So that is this Monday. You can go on the DNR's website, and they got all kinds of information about um, getting your license, and you can just kind of click on the page here, take you right to the Go Wild thing, and set up your account or log in. Otherwise, if you're feeling technologically challenged, feel free to stop in the shop. We can get you set up here as well. DNR also wants to remind folks that the annual spring hearing and public input opportunity is coming up for the Wisconsin Conservation Congress. So this is your opportunity to kind of weigh in on some issues that people are proposing, different rule changes. Nothing that gets passed here is any hard set rule that's guaranteed to get passed, but this is how the 10 fish panfish limit on Mendota got passed overwhelmingly, by the way. Through people providing input on different questions. So you can go on the website, on the DNR's website, and type in annual spring hearing. This should come right up, and you can take a look at what's going on. The in-person meeting is April 14th at 6 p.m., but they also have online opportunities to weigh in, and that'll be open from April 14th through April 16th. And I'll be reminding folks about that, but you can go on here and find out more information. They do have the questions that are being proposed already up. I took the liberty of going through and looking at all the questions here. You can see there's like I think there's 74 questions. A couple that are interesting locally are that question number 7 says, do you support having only one statewide county-based regulation of 5 trout in total with no minimum size limit? And then what they do is whenever they have one of these rules, they explain why it may or may not be a good idea to do this, and some great information there. So, that trout regulation would be a big change for Wisconsin. A couple other trout regulations in there. Another big one is, I'm not going to find it here, but question 47, the elimination of lead ammunition and fishing tackle. So that is something I've talked about here before. It is the way that the fishing industry is going. It's going to make lures more expensive, but it's really better for the environment, really, instead of dumping a bunch of lead in the water all the time. So that'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out. And then there's another one. Question 68 says, would you support a daily bag limit of 3 steelhead on Lake Michigan and its tributaries? Right now, I believe it's 5. So that would be kind of a big change there, too. But lots of questions on here. Hunting, natural resources, related to everything DNR. So log on and check it out. And then make sure you make your voice heard, because that's how the DNR knows what its customers want. Also going to mention again, Casting for Kids, May 17th, 2025. Here, they're looking for volunteers. So if you have a boat and would like to be a guide for this event, you don't have to be an expert angler, but you can log on to casting number 4 kids.org and go to contact us and hit them up and let them know that you're interested in being a guide. Or if you just want to be guided and support the event, you can register for the event. It really is an awesome event that benefits the UW Children's Hospital and Carbone Cancer Center over there. So a little bit of shop news here. We are getting a bunch of spring stuff out. We got hair jigs for walleyes. It's river season for sure. We'll be talking a lot about that. Got the walleye killer jigs, walleye flies. I mentioned this last couple of weeks. But it is springtime, and I want to encourage folks, you're getting all your stuff ready. You want to get your line spooled up. You want to make sure everything's ready to go. Come in and do that before May 3rd, because opening day is always kind of chaotic around here. A lot of people getting out fishing. And, if you can stop in and get your reels, maybe drop them off if you got more than 2. And we're happy to wind them up for you, get you ready to roll. But otherwise, yeah, we're getting more and more spring stuff out. I still got a huge order that's coming in to fill some holes, I think this week. But, the shelves are getting filled up here, and it's great to see. The trout fishing department out over there is the fly fishing department's been fully stocked just recently, and of course our tying department is rocking and rolling too. If you want to get into tying flies, it's really fun and great opportunity to get a little more involved in your hobby. Spring Seminar Series, we got Craig Amacher, April 10th. Craig is an awesome local guide. He's going to be talking about fly fishing the driftless area trout streams. Everybody knows Noah, and everybody loves Noah. He's going to be talking about walleye wizardry, so just walleyes in general, whether it's the Madison chain, the Wisconsin River, or Green Bay. He's got all those fish dialed. I'm actually going to be fishing with Noah on Wednesday, and super excited about that because he is getting some giant walleyes over there in Green Bay. Jalen Riddle, this is kind of a new topic for us here, but he's going to be talking about kayak fishing, the Madison chain, on April 24th. And yeah, he spoke at the fishing expo here in town, and should be a very well attended event. I know a lot of people are excited about it, and kayak fishing is growing and growing every year as far as folks that do that. But these events are these Thursdays at 7 o'clock here at the shop, free to everyone. Stop in. We're going to be having great door prizes and stuff, and yeah, they're great events. And I may be recording them and publishing them, but we will see how that shakes out. Also wanted to mention Noah Humfeld. The weekend after all of our seminars are done, he's going to be hosting a small boat salmon school here at the shop. Noah runs a 21-foot boat out on Lake Michigan when he guides for salmon, and he's going to tell you how he does it. We have a sign-up sheet here at the shop, so swing in. You can email info@madisonangling.com to get signed up. But this is going to be a cool event, and if you've ever wanted to learn more about using your boat on Lake Michigan, this is a great opportunity for that. All right, and we're back. Sorry, I had someone come in there. We have door posters. So yeah, a couple things over here. I want to thank Tuck for doing just a bang-up job on cleaning the glass here. I almost ran into it. It was so clean. We had just all the winter, fisheries and stuff. When the door was looking pretty nasty, so thanks to him for a horrible job, but really did it, made it look nice. Casting competition up at the Best in the Driftless. This is June 6th up there at Driftless Angler. Great fly shop in Viroqua if you've never been. And Kaylin Hoggard is going to be hosting this casting competition, so we're happy to be a sponsor of that. If you're interested and want to learn more, you can give us a shout. We'll tell you all about it. Small Salmon School poster, Spring Seminar Series poster. I guess we already talked about a lot of that stuff. I lost my Drinking with Scissors poster in the clean, but I think what is it, April 19th or something? The next one is. So anyway, let's get on to the report. I guess as far as the weather goes, last weekend was cold and rainy with a gradual warm up all week, and it's supposed to top out at 77 today. Looks like another cool, wet weekend coming up with some pretty seasonal temps through next week. So some great opportunities to get out and fish. Oh yeah, I was going to do a pier update. As far as I know, none of the city launch piers have been put in yet. I know Warner hasn't. The county usually gets their piers in before the city, but according to their website here, lake access piers are closed, and I think they keep this little page here pretty updated, so we'll be checking in on that. But if you guys know of any piers that are open, I know I think Marshall has a pier in, and I know Olbrich does. But other than that, hopefully the city and the county get those in soon. As far as fishing goes around town, with game fish season closed on inland waters, most of our traffic coming through the shop is either panfish and bass anglers, or folks headed up to the rivers, of course, where the walleye and sauger bite's been good. Most of that action is happening at dams or in deeper holes just downstream. Sounds like a lot of smaller males, but I have heard of some nicer females in the mix. Walleye fatheads, blacktail chubs, small suckers are all good choices for those fish, but also hair jigs and walleye flies have been putting a lot of fish in the boat. If you're fishing the lakes around here, most of the fish are up shallow, enjoying the water that warms up first. And of course, catch and release trout season is open. So get out there and enjoy some of this awesome spring weather we've got coming up. Little detail here. Up on Cherokee, I've been hearing about some panfish up there, some crappies, some bluegills. Nothing necessarily to write home about, but that is shallow water and it warms up earliest, and those fish are up there enjoying that. The 113 bridge, the action down there has been, also more or less slow. I have heard about some crappies, some folks catching a few walleyes here and there, fishing for crappies, of course. And, you get your random pike or bass or whatever's coming through there, because a lot of fish use that corridor to get in and out of the lake and up to shallower water. Not much happening on Lake Mendota itself. I haven't talked to many people that have been out. I did hear about a little bit of panfish action down in University Bay and some up in North Bay here, but just not a lot of folks heading out on the big lake just yet. Pretty much the same thing down on Lake Monona. Not many people hitting the main lake itself. Oh, I guess there are folks fishing in the Yahara River, but I do want to remind folks that this is a fish refuge closed here from the Tenney Locks down to about the tennis courts at Tenney until May 3rd. Otherwise, yeah, if you're going to fish Lake Monona, I would look to shallow areas. So, maybe up here by Old Brick, you've got any shoreline areas should be holding fish. Areas like Weechawak Bay. I know they've been getting some shiners and stuff up in Winnequa Park. Shiners are usually the first ones to move in there. Then I think there's crappies for a couple days, and then some bluegills hang out for a while. But I've heard about the shiners. That's all I've really heard so far. Turville Bay's got some fish in it. But of course, the star of the show is always going to be Monona Bay. And they are getting fish over there, bluegills during the day, some crappies at night, a lot of action along the tracks over here, and of course along Bradingham Park, Lake Wingra, a bunch of tiny bluegills in there, maybe get a decent perch here and there. A lot of great bass for you early bass folks. Get around there and float around. But all the muskies that are in there, you shouldn't be fishing for those. And speaking of muskies, the area below the Wingra Dam here is closed as a fish refuge down to Arboretum Drive. And I believe that one's closed until May 15th, not just until opening weekend. Otherwise, yeah, I heard, I think Lattice Park launch is open over here. So that's another option for getting your boat in the water. The water is very shallow, so do be careful launching there. But if you can launch at Lattice, you can get out here into Upper Mud, which is offers some great early spring fishing, both for largemouth bass and panfish. A lot of panfish hang out kind of the edges of the dredge hole over here. Otherwise, kind of the same deal down on Wabisa as all the lakes. There just aren't a ton of people getting out. If you're looking for bluegills, I'd look up here in the Lake Farm area or down here on the south end of the lake. Those two bays are very shallow and warm up first, so it's worth a look there. I don't know if the Babcock piers are in yet, but they could be. The area below the Lock and Dam here at Babcock is also closed as a fish refuge down to Exchange Street. Otherwise, and then there's another one down here in this weird corner section on your way below Lower Mud, or whatever you call it, Mud Lake. Kiganza, same deal as all the other lakes. Don't hear much for reports. If I was going to fish anywhere, I'd focus on the fish camp area up here. It's nice and shallow. You get that water coming in from the Yahara. Usually holds a lot of fish this time of year. Otherwise, other areas around Madison, the Rock River's been fishing very well. Been hearing about some good action below the Indian Ford Dam. Haven't heard much out of Koshkonong. Maybe a little bit of action up here in the Black Hawk Island area. Most of the action I hear about is folks headed to the river. Fort Atkinson area has been good for some walleyes. And of course, the Jefferson Dam. A lot of your fish are backed up there, so right at the dam. And then, any deeper holes down from there or in the river, anywhere, you'll likely find fish. Folks have been, especially on the Rock River, folks really love pulling walleye flies. And like I mentioned, we've got a great selection of them here. But yeah, minnows and stuff, of course, work as well. Haven't heard anything really out of Beaver Dam or anything like that. Otherwise, the other kind of big news is the river. So not much happening, on the river itself, although some of the backwater sloughs and stuff could be good for panfish and really any fish as they kind of warm up earliest. But if you're looking to catch walleyes and saugers, head to the dams. So Prairie du Sac, being the first one and closest one to Madison, is holding quite a few walleyes and saugers. A lot of small males from what I hear, but a few nice females that are showing up there. Otherwise, Lake Wisconsin, I haven't heard much in the way of perch. You got a lot of your shallow bays and stuff that usually will get some fish in, but Oki, I haven't heard much out of there. You got the fingers. I guess I've heard some folks getting fish in the fingers, and then the grade I haven't heard of. There's usually a really great like perch bite when the temperatures get just right, and I just haven't heard anything about that. So if you're going to Lake Wisconsin, I would focus on shallow bays, and those perch are bound to turn on one of these days. Otherwise, yeah, same thing. Head up the river, Wisconsin Dells Dam. Been hearing about some good action there. Kind of difficult if the water's low to get right up to the dam, but plenty of these corners and holes down below that are holding fish. Castle Rock and Peatwell Dams also great options. I guess I haven't heard much in the way of reports off either of these flowages themselves, but also a ton of folks come through the shop heading over to the Mississippi River. They are doing very well on perch, so the perch action has been great. Genoa Dam has been an absolute zoo. Maybe you've seen pictures on social media and that. A guy was actually just in here this morning, and he said he counted 52 boats up there on like a Thursday or something. So yeah, it's pretty packed at Genoa, but other places, Lynxville and DeSoto and stuff like that, also hold fish. So you can spread out, and everybody's finding fish over there. So get over to the river and check that out. Otherwise, um, fish are running up the rivers over here, the tributaries all along the East Coast. I've heard about some great catches from down in Kenosha all the way up to you know Manitowoc, and so you got steelhead in there doing their spawning, browns following up to eat their eggs and cause trouble. But there are a lot of great fishing. I've seen a lot of great reports on social media. Milwaukee River's been hot. Menominee River, Root River, everything is holding fish right now. I wish I could say that I've had good luck fishing over here, but I don't know what it is with steelhead and me. We haven't been friends, or we haven't really warmed up to each other yet. But I'll keep trying because that's what I do. Um, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, Milwaukee area is great. And they're catching fish in the harbors over there too. And there's usually a good perch bite over here, like under the Hone Bridge. I know that they fish over there, but I haven't heard of that bite turning on yet. But you can really pound some great Lake Michigan perch if you get over there. Otherwise, um, like I mentioned in the intro, the catch and release inland trout season is, of course, open, and it sounds like streams are running a little low and clear. Although we did get some rain this morning, so maybe that'll help bring them up a little bit. But stealth is really the key to success this time of year. You don't have grass and stuff to hide behind, so you're kind of out there in the open. Water's clear; they can see you. But of course, with the early catch and release season, you can't keep any fish, and only artificial lures can be used. But this is a great time of year to get out, even though things are warming up still. I still think like slow and low is probably your best approach with a lot of these fish. If you don't see fish rising or anything, of course. And what I mean by that is look for slower, deeper runs and pools and work them slowly, mostly near the bottom for a lot of those fish. On the spinning gear side of things, suspending or sinking jerk baits like a Rapala Husky jerk or Countdown is a good idea. Crappie tube jigs are awesome. Work slowly through some of those deeper runs and pools. On the fly side of things, I guess we can just kind of merge that into our happy Friday fly day thing here. So, I guess I forgot to mention with steelhead too. Egg patterns work great. I got spawn sacks, all that stuff. But folks catch them on spinners, folks catch them on crankbaits too, and of course, big selection of flies that'll work for those fish. But if you, as far as trout on streams go, all you really need again is the pink squirrel. You're definitely, well, I shouldn't say definitely, but your best chance of catching trout this time of year is just throwing on a pink squirrel and running through some of those deep runs I was talking about. Otherwise, if you want to mix it up, you can throw on a woolly bugger, maybe put a pink squirrel as a trailer behind it, or one of these midge patterns, because that's kind of what's hatching right now is midges. And on the dry fly side of things, speaking of midges, if you see trout rising, but you can't see the bugs that they're rising to, they're probably on midges. So anything small like this, like a 18 or 20 dark colored, fly is a good idea. Otherwise, gray colored moth looking things could be stone flies, although that's going to be winding down here. And then caddis will start coming out. I haven't really heard much in the way of caddis, but it's going to be soon here. You'll start seeing them. And, like black, dark colored caddis are a good idea, usually smaller this time of year. So, like some 16s is a good size for something like that. And blue-winged olives are coming off. I actually just had a guy in a couple of minutes ago who was talking about a great olive hatch he ran into the other day. So, you can run flimps like this, or you can run, parachutes, any number of, I bet I have at least a dozen different patterns of just blue-winged olive dry patterns alone here at the shop. So swing in, get stocked up, and get out on the water because it really is a great time to be out. I guess that does it for the report. I do want to encourage folks to post their comments and catches below. We love seeing that. Also, feel free to call the shop at 241-4225 if you want us to expand on anything here. You got any questions? Otherwise, I do appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, I wish you luck out there, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks so much.